It's 11 o'clock p.m. on the west coast of the United States. It is 0600 GMT. The date is the 16th of March 2015. This is cBas After Dark. Thank you for being here. I cannot enter my password and say a date at the same time, apparently. A little bit confusing. So yeah, I took last night off. I don't know what you want me to do about that. I just felt like, for a webcast I don't get paid for, that nobody really watches anyway, I can take the occasional night off, and it's not going to really result in anything bad happening. In fact, now that I've got this editing project I'm working on, I truly didn't feel like even coming on again tonight, except that I skipped last night. So, you mean so much to me. Something that just happened in the last, since I've been on this show with you, was Robert Durst has been arrested. That's kind of a new thing, and something I did not expect. It was that show I think I've mentioned maybe here a couple of times, called The Jinx, the story of Robert Durst, or The Life and Deaths, I believe, of Robert Durst is the actual sort of subtitle. I was kind of embarrassed about how much I was into it, thinking, this is a stupid cold case that nobody's going to give a shit about. But, to my surprise, on Sunday morning, like hours before the final edition of this documentary airs, and the lawyers, by the way, are already trying to link that to the timing of the arrest with the last episode of the show. They're trying to increase ratings, was the allegation. But yeah, Robert Durst was arrested Sunday morning on charges, like they're going to extradite him to California, I think, and it's on the charges of his spokesman/friend's death in the year 2000. I had been watching this. In fact, very often it was related to this podcast, because I would go and sort of after it was over, turn on HBO, and I would see sometimes like the last half episode of whatever edition was that week. The past couple of weeks, it's been airing one after another. And I caught like the last half of episode 2, and I did not understand it. And I'm like, fuck this. This is kind of boring. Then I saw like the second half of the second episode again, and something, oh God, I've been biting my lip all evening. Something caught my eye. I don't even know what it was, but I then stayed tuned for the next episode, which that night was the 3rd edition. And some more things kind of started falling into place for me. I'm like, all right, well, this is not badly done. If you want to call me, by the way, here's the number. If you want to tweet me, by the way, here's the Twitter account. It's moving around with me because, hey, we can do that now on Google. That's not annoying at all, right? Anyway, so I'd been catching like the last half of episodes, and then I would not understand it, and then I would sort of declare it stupid, and then I would catch the next one. I'm like, okay, it's not quite as stupid, but it's still pretty stupid. And then like after about a couple of weeks of that, suddenly I caught an entire episode. And I saw it from beginning to end, and I was like, all right, I remember linking this to the stuff I'd seen in the past 2 episodes. This rich guy, from a real estate family, but not himself, like overly successful or, rich for reasons other than his family inheritance, whatever. Is that actually going with my throat? Like when I go, Anyway, it's pretty stupid. So yeah, from this rich family, had a wife disappear without a trace in 1982. No one ever saw her again. No one found a body. That's when he was living in New York. As that case was, the prosecutors in that area had tried to pin it on him, but were never able to. Partially because they never had a body. Then, as they continued to look up that cold case, the police and prosecutors and so on, what was it? Like the spokeswoman lady, who had been the spokeswoman for Robert Durst at the time, I guess, and was still his friend, turned up shot dead in her apartment. I think single shot execution style, back of the head, like just very cleanly, no signs of forced entry, nothing weird out of the ordinary at all, except that she was dead with a bullet in the back of her head. And someone took that, whoever did the murder, obviously, sent a note to the Beverly Hills Police Department with like 4 words on it. It was the number and the street address of the lady who was dead and the word cadaver. That's all it said, in like capital kind of block printing letters. And on the outside, the envelope, it said nothing. I don't even think it had an address. It just said Beverly Hills Police. I'm not sure if it had a stamp or not. I'm not sure if it had been licked or not. Like I think I saw notes go by, as you know how those documentary shows are. You see visuals of things kind of go by as people are talking. There's no narrator in this, for the most part. So when you're listening to it, it's kind of, what am I seeing? I guess I'm seeing a reflection. I thought somebody was coming in. So a note turns up, Beverly Hills Police, with Beverly misspelled. Beverley, Beverly, with an extra E in there. Hills Police Department. And no one can ever really put Robert Durst in the area at the time. They can put him in California, but they cannot place him from any records of any sort in Beverly Hills, where this woman had died. My hair is atrocious. Sorry. So it goes on. You know, they sort of putter around. They photograph this guy, Robert Durst, walking around in front of his family's like building in New York. And like the security guards are all out in the front, and like people who are like in suits but unidentified goons of some kind or another are sort of watching the camera crew and watching Robert Durst. He's not allowed in the building, I guess. Oh yeah, the third murder that he admitted to was the death and dismemberment of a guy who he lived across from when he moved away to get away from all the controversy in Galveston, Texas. He moved to Galveston, Texas, rented an apartment under a woman's name as a woman, and like described himself as mute. He couldn't talk. The woman's mute, but she needs an apartment. So, okay, if that's not fucking weird enough. He, with his feminine personality or whatever, not feminine personality, but his disguise, makes friends with the person across the hall in this apartment building. Across the hall is this really grumpy old crotchety asshole guy who's sort of a little crazy in his own crotchety old man way, but not psychotic. But crazy enough to have guns and crazy enough to shoot paperwork. You know, there were incidents of the gun going off, I guess, and he just shot a piece of paper that made him angry, or you know, stuff like that. Old men with guns and bourbon, you know, good old times. But he had become friends with that guy and told the guy who he really was and the story about him not being a woman and not being mute. And they kind of ended up being quiet friends across the hall together, hanging out, apparently. It seemed like Robert Durst might have been gay to me. Like, it really seemed like he had kind of a certain amount of, you know, that homosexual flamboyance that some people say some people have. And very often it's just as false as it is true. So that's not something that's ever postulated in the program. The only reason he appeared to dress as a woman was because he was in a disguise, running away from not just police, not really police, it seemed like, but just questions and concerns. And, you know, I guess this Robert Durst wife disappearance from a rich guy and the later apparent execution of his friend / spokeswoman, you know, he was worried about questions being asked. So they get in a fight. They're struggling with a gun one day, and the guy ends up shot. And after the guy is shot and killed in his apartment, Robert Durst's apartment, Robert Durst sits there thinking, okay, I can't call the police because I've rented this apartment as a woman, a mute woman, and I'm going to have to explain who I am, and they're going to look up the other. So rather than report the accidental shooting death of this crotchety man next to him in his apartment, he dismembers the body and throws it out into the ocean. I think they find everything but the head because it all washes back up, whatever. And he goes to trial and admits to having killed and dismembered that guy, but is found not guilty of murder for reasons of accidental self-defense. Like, you know, he fell. It was, I guess they found it to be an accident while he was kind of defending himself from a physical, whatever. The guy was coming at him. He pushed the gun away. The gun went off and shot the guy who had the gun. I don't really remember every single detail. The ultimate ending of it, I've got to get rid of that text. It's driving me crazy. Is that not as annoying as it seems? I'm going to have to redo it all, though. So ultimately, the jury finds him not guilty. And people are like, what the fuck? You know, like it was the same outrage. It felt like from the recap I saw as like the OJ trial. You know, everybody thought this guy was going to go down for this killing. It was he admitted it. You know, on and on. And then he doesn't. The jury finds him not guilty from an accident. So it's depending on exactly how your scale is. He's either done 3 murders that he kind of got away with, or 1 that he definitely got away with, and questionable about these 2 others. But he never, like, you know, he managed to live his life. He managed to keep getting, you know, sort of not implicated, or, you know, body was never found, or whatever the hell. And the only real trial he ever went on for killing someone was that old guy in Texas, and he got exonerated of that. You know, rich people think they're bulletproof, I guess. So anyway, time goes on. This I guess they made a movie inspired by the Robert Durst story, a fictitious Hollywood movie called what? All Good Things. And it's like, you know, portrayed as a love triangle. I forget which actors are in it. But somehow Robert Durst contacted the director, Andrew Jarecki, of that All Good Things movie. I've not seen the All Good Things movie. And like wanted to do like sort of a documentary profile to kind of clear his own name. Or I was not clear on the motivation for why. I think Robert Durst contacted the filmmaker. It could have been the other way around. I'm really not sure how it started. But this, like 2 years ago, this was all going down. And they do an interview with him. They film it in front of his family's building with the guards all there, like I described before. It's just really something. So, but the one thing that happens during that, what was it, the first interview, I guess, where he's sitting there and they go, okay, let's take a break. And the filmmakers go off and leave him sitting there for a second, kind of on the set where they were. It wasn't a set. It was like a hotel room or some kind of business room at a hotel. And he's sitting there. He's kind of muttering to himself the way an old man does. Mic's still hot. Camera's still rolling. He's sitting there in front of it all. He's kind of muttering stuff that, and I remember seeing it at the time. That was one of those half episodes I caught the end of. I'm like, oh, that's like they totally caught him. You know, they caught him admitting stuff on camera after the thing. But I didn't really hear what it was. Upon the second time I viewed that one, it turned out to be much, much less of a gotcha moment than they kind of painted it as, or truly like they wanted it to be more than it was. And I thought, all right, well, that was disappointing. Gotcha, you know, not really. What was it he was muttering? I guess that first time he was muttering, I never knowingly, intentionally lied. Like he was sort of going over the words that he had said to the guy during one of the questions. And then after a minute, the lawyer comes out. He's like, they just heard everything you said. Your microphone was on, you know. And it's like, oh, well, and he didn't really get caught saying anything, I think, all that crazy or damning. I guess I should watch it all again and try and figure that part out, because I really didn't get why that was such a supposed gotcha moment, but wasn't. What I missed as I continued watching, the son or like relative of the woman found shot execution style comes forward to the filmmakers. I think the filmmaker had interviewed a bunch of people, including this guy once. This guy calls him again and is like, I found a bunch of Susan, the victim's effects, like a box of crate of her stuff, video of her memorial service, some other things. In that box is a letter from Robert Durst, like Durst and Associates or whatever, letterhead, fine, expensive ass stamped letterhead, you know, with envelope and paper, with a note from Robert Durst in it, you know, completely nondescript note. Hey, thinking of you, you know, good memories, blah, 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 whatever. It was something very short, very kind of meaningless as far as the letter went. What was meaningful was the address on the envelope. And I missed this also the first time I saw that episode where they show this envelope. The envelope is to this girl in Beverly Hills at the address where she was found murdered years later. And Beverly Hills is misspelled not only in the exact same way, but it's done with the same block printing handwriting. Like it fucking, I mean, I'm sorry, it's just identical. The closest any person, it was like he was trying to match his own handwriting when he wrote to the Beverly Hills Police Department with the extra E in Beverly. And it was like, damn, they got him, you know, like it was, and I had never seen that. I had not caught that the first time I watched the end of episode 5. 6 parts to this documentary. Finally, okay, blah, blah, blah. I caught the last half of episode 5 a second time, and I'm like, holy shit, like it really impacted me how, I had missed that before, but B, what damning smoking gun kind of evidence that truly seemed to be. Like this random note to the Beverly Hills Police Department from no one, from anonymous, and this letter he sent to this girl at the same address in her house, with the same misspelling and the same kind of handwriting. They did a handwriting analysis, the whole 9 yards, and then they managed to get him in for a second interview with that letter in their possession. Now, again, I thought, oh, they fucking got him. And then I watched this interview, and they pad the 40-minute long edition of this. It's like 46 parts, each part 40 minutes or 45 minutes. And I watched this part 6, and it's like they're padding and padding and padding, kind of reviewing a little bit and flashing back a little bit. And the interview with Robert Durst is like the last 5 minutes of the thing. Well, it really stretched it out, I felt like. And so we're finally at it, and they're going to ask him about, did you write this letter? Did you kill your friend? You know, they kind of did it very innocently. Real, what do they call it? They kind of did a slow walk to it, right? They prepared, the filmmakers prepared this packet of material, a trip through memory lane, photos that he would have, you know, of him and his wife and different people. And they're just going to be like, talk about it, and they're going to film it. Good technique. To get the guy to talk. And, you know, he actually asked for what copy of one of the photographs that they were showing him throughout this process. And then they get to this letter from Robert, the guy who they're interviewing, to the victim, the woman who was shot execution style in Beverly Hills. And he's like, oh, I could see putting a check in there and just writing this note and that being it. And they're like, okay, well, tell us about, this is the envelope it came in. What do you see here? He's like, oh, it's Beverly Hills with Beverly misspelled. It kind of has that New York accent, right? And basically, you know, they present it to him. They're like, did you do this letter? And he's like, no, I did this one, but not this one. These two that look exactly the same, misspelled in the exact same way, you know, little curly Q in the Y or something the same way. The E kind of constructed the same in the end. In fact, they did it with a bunch of different records he had filled out and forms that he had filled out and so on. Handwriting analysis, the way real handwriting analysis is done. And it seems like just the ultimate smoking gun. He still says he didn't do it. And they're like, okay, well, Robert Durst, thank you for letting us interview you a second time. It's been a pleasure, and best of luck to you, blah, blah, blah. And they say, okay, well, that's it. Thanks for coming in. And then they kind of end it, but the cameras are still rolling again. He's getting up. He's like, I guess I'll go to the bathroom. So he goes to the bathroom. Mike's still hot. We don't see him, but we hear him. And the things he says are, again, to me, not all that incriminating. His tone of voice suggested to me that he was like, oh, they think they're presenting this to me. And that, what did I do? I killed them, of course. You know, and it wasn't like he was admitting it or saying it under his breath to admit it to himself. He was kind of doing what I do when people are sarcastic with me or sort of smart ass with me. I go, oh, fuck you, you know, and that's not... It's hard for me to say it. Now, it's being portrayed in the news media, and maybe this is the case. I was wrong about several things initially watching this that I came to understand upon repeated viewings. So I suppose I should watch it again and see, but I've invested a lot of goddamn time in this and kind of felt fucked around with at times by the filmmaker. Certainly, like it was stretched out there at the end. Just blah, 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 blah. And so then, sure enough, Sunday morning before that last episode airs, police arrest Robert Durst in Louisiana, New Orleans, I think. And in a hotel, he had a gun, whatever. He was extradited, or they're going to extradite him, I think. His lawyer says no, it was just to spice up the... Oh, God. It was just to spice up the ratings for that last edition of the thing. And I got to say, I don't really feel like police do things to coincide with Hollywood. Like I really believe that police agencies who are acting properly, not all do, but the ones that sort of are doing what they feel like is good for the community, in a serious, straightforward, what's the word? In a serious, straightforward, earnest way. They're trying to be honest and community members and stewards of the community and help the community, blah, blah, blah. I feel like cops like that don't do things under any schedule except the schedule if they're going to do things in. And time is of the essence. I guess the filmmaker started to feel nervous that this guy was going to maybe come after him for catching him so, dead to God or whatever the phrase is. And so he was arrested Sunday morning. The edition ran Sunday night. It was on all of the newscasts the next day. That's what's really amusing to me, and not amusing in a really, but I mean, seriously, very little of what I get into comes out on the mainstream news media very often, because it's like I'm into very specific shit, stuff that I feel like is not going to be of interest to anybody else. So when I saw this on the nightly news on Sunday and the evening, and then sort of again on the morning news on Monday, it's a big thing that suddenly it's being talked about a lot. People are saying, oh, this HBO documentary that they also are doing as well. So it was fascinating. It broke open in a very kind of satisfying, real world way. The stuff that you think, God, Law and Order is so predictable, or whatever. Insert cop show here, right? Or even like regular murder cop documentary, like Dateline Saturday Night. Dateline Saturday Night does this kind of murder documentary kind of thing, but the problem is they stretch a regular, 45 minutes worth of story into 2 hours worth of story. So it goes really slow. The narration written for Keith Morrison, I don't know if it's by Keith Morrison or for him to read and narrate this show, is very Robert Stackian and spooky. And who knew? Did the boyfriend know if the wife was not going to be there? And it's like really stupid, obvious, like kind of not open-ended questions, but just like really obvious questions. And then coming back from every commercial, there's like way too many commercial breaks in that Dateline and Saturday Night show. And then they come back from it and they kind of recap a little bit. It's like, 2 steps forward, 1 step back with that show. So certain news documentaries like that kind of pissed me off. This one was not frustrating in that way. It went at the right speed, and I sort of picked it up at just the right time, and it started making sense to me, and I started getting into it, and I understood it was only a 6-part documentary. So at worst, it's going to be a couple of weeks, and it's all going to be over with, and no one will have paid any attention. It'll be just another one of those things on HBO that went away. But goddamn, that was a really interesting sort of situation that happened. Some news stories to bring to you. I didn't do a show last night. I had some stuff on Friday. I think I even forgot to do some stuff on Thursday. Police and body cameras. I'm just kind of exhausted by that sort of thing. A buyer for new. Oh, good Lord. Really? We're accessing sensitive info. I need to verify my damn password. Live on the air, just for you. My apologies that I'm not able to just access my notes. I did not expect to have to, enter my password live on the air. Digital First Media Newspapers is being acquired by Apollo. What is this? This is super spec bezel-less smartphone by ZTE is being hinted for a March 26th launch. That's in 10 days. I think there weren't a lot of good pictures, so I'm not going to bother showing that article on the air, but I did read this article, and it did look like a cool-ass phone, modern, and one of those things I got to say I love more than I expected. Here's my iPhone. This is just my old iPhone 4. These new phones have the glass screen that has no edge to it, that it bends down. Now, when you're looking at it, it has black there's no white edge here. You see this white edge here? There's none of that. It goes on, and the side of it is angled outward. Literally, if you had your phone standing like a book, standing on a bookshelf, and just the edge showing, you could read sort of the text of, any incoming text or an incoming headline or whatever notification is coming in. You could sort of see it go by on the screen. I think that's badass. One of those new sort of takes on a digital display that's not just square and a tablet, square and a phone, square, it's just a regular rectangle. I love that new kind of variation on that sort of thing. I don't have one, but I would like to. Well, shit, I'm yawning like a motherfucker, and it's not even halfway over yet. Let's power forward. There's a bunch of things I could probably get into and get excited about. Let us go to the website. Here's an article I wrote on things that are killing you. I went through and just typed in everything into Google and said, can this kill you? Or this blank will kill you. Looking for as many news stories that will kill you. Or some kind of sensationalistic headline. Eggs and cigarettes are basically the same. Drinking milk will kill you. drinking milk lead to earlier death. Some of them are scientific, some of them are journalistic, some of them are just bullshit. The point was, if you type anything, even the most nutritious, nourishing, healthful foods into Google with the phrase "will kill you" after it, something comes up for everything. There is some idiot out there pointing to these blogs from whether it's PETA, whether it's economyincrisis.org, whether it's, amysvanzant.com, Jezebel.com, The Sun, Authority Nutrition, whatever it is. Even moderation, by the way. Moderation is killing you. Everything is killing you. There's another one that's all about everything killing you. It's just really, really funny. Let's fart around. I don't want to do Game Show Tuesday today because that was something we'll save for tomorrow night, obviously, Game Show Tuesday. And it's only Monday. But let's do... Oh, heck. I kind of want to do one of those funny games, like those old, ancient games. But instead of that, let's do some TV and radio jingles. ABC, now is the time. I really like this one. I showed this in the Trekkie chat room earlier. This is a number 2 here.
There's something in the air that says great times are coming your way. There's a celebration all across the nation. Now is the time. ABC is the place. It's all right here on ABC. Let's go.
All right. Again, stuff like that fascinates me, and I'll go over it slowly because here's the thing: when you look at that slowly, no, oh god, it's going to play the next one. This is the full version. Maybe we won't look at the whole thing, but we'll look at some of the full version here. There's something in the air. I think that's Gene Wood, the announcer you're going to hear.
There's something in the air that says great times are coming your way. There's a celebration all across the nation. Now is the time. ABC is the best.
And I believe all these people who are mugging at the camera are stars of ABC shows from 1981. Yeah, that guy's one. I forget who he is, though. That's the Great American Hero with that blonde fro a minute ago. I guess the LA Dodgers. Hal Linden, Barney Miller. I don't know who that guy is, but he was in the previous promo. And one of the faces we see, yeah, it's Farrah Fawcett. I don't know who that is either. But one of the faces we see is Gretchen Krause, Inga Svensson from Benson. I don't know why not Robert Guillaume, because I don't think Inga Svensson was a star on any other shows. We're all supposed to react to this. Oh, yeah. The Fonz and Scott Baio. Charles in Charge. St. Louis Arch. Oh, yeah. I remember him. There's the Great American Hero again. It's all right here. ABC this year. ABC. What you're after. Drama, sports, and laughter. Now is the time. ABC is the place. It's all right. Is that Robert Stack? ABC this year. All right, I'm just going to back it up to see that last little bit because here we go. Again, if you've seen me at all, you know that what I freak out about, really geek out about, get like almost erect about, just so excited, is this graphical animation stuff I've freeze framed on right here. What you see is not just text on the screen. Now is the time is the text with an exclamation point. But look at it. It's this kind of three-dimensional light object where there's a surface here, and it looks like it continues to be a surface in the back. It's black colored in the front. It's kind of glowing white in the middle, almost like neon lights, and it casts this shadow down here on this blue field. Now, who even pays attention to this shit, because it goes by so fast, right? Well, to do this kind of shit in 1981 was seriously expensive and time consuming, and like did not involve computers the way we think it does now. It's so much more hand animation and kind of analog video effects. And so the two parts have kind of come together, and the shadows gotten more concentrated. There's that gleam going from left to right on the blue field behind. See that? And it zooms in, and it becomes the ABC logo, which is these dots followed by the gleaming circles of the A, the B, and the C, and that circle on the outside. And again, when I talk about the gleaming, it's like the light is changing. You see a gleam kind of go around the circle. That right there. Again, I find it badass mostly because of how... It's badass because of how easy it is to do now compared to how it used to be. And ABC had a bunch of promos that were sort of, I guess, led up to that one. The one I really like is the Still the One. Let's look up ABC. I saw it down there, but I don't think it's the right one. There was a 1976 and a 77 version. The one I like is from 1979. Here we go. This is 3-minute version here. And again, what we'll see are stars of the sitcoms and shows of the time.
Where your friends will be. That's why we hope you'll be watching ABC. And we want you to know that this year again,
here's the World Trade Center.
You can look to for a friend.
From LA to New York, still the one with Mindy and Mork. You're still having fun. Now, I think these are supposed to be regular viewers. I don't think those are stars. They're coming out of their home and going to the park to play. There's so much to be watched with old friends and new. Every night, and you see the stars here on that kind of curved screen effect, which tells you you're watching on a TV. Time you spend, we're still the one that you can turn to for a friend. Yeah, we're still the one when the Ropers return. Still the one with Shirley and Laverne. I like how they could have... It's Mindy and Mork. It's Shirley and Laverne, you know? Instead of the other way around. When all is said and done, it's true. We became the one thanks to you. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. We're still the one when the love boat sails. Still the one, no one ever fails. There's Robert Guillaume. Maybe that kid is a star. And then it's kind of ABC, the hot air balloon. There's Tom Bosley from Happy Days. In so many ways. And so they have this kind of hot air balloon theme. We're really alive. Triple split screen. We're the one as the 80s arrive. You're still having fun. 'Cause we're still the one. Yeah, you see Jack and Janet from that Three's Company there. I think Shirley from Laverne and Shirley. That guy. Tom Bosley. And they're all in the basket. We see them in the basket of the hot air balloon, but I have a sense they filmed that 2 feet off the ground, you know. We're still the one. We're still the one. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. So that's perhaps my favorite of the ABC ones because of the triple split screen, and because I don't think there was any on-screen keyframe animation at all. I keep saying that's my favorite thing, is the keyframe animation and how they make ABC, you know, gleam in that specific way, like the light is passing over it, as if it were made of glass. You know what I'm saying? And it makes that gleam just here and here in the A, right, or whatever. I don't think that one had any of it. So here I am saying it's my favorite, despite the fact that it doesn't have any of those. The one other thing, and I'm going to drop this after this one, Sky Still the One. There's a channel called Sky. Hopefully, yeah, I believe this is it. I hope this is it. We're the One from. No, that's another version. There we go. This is the one. This is the one that is so fucking epic. And what you'll notice is it's the same song. Still the One. They've changed it to shows that are on Sky Television in the UK, as opposed to shows that are on ABC broadcast television in the United States. But this is when you start to get an appreciation for these jingles, because it's the same song. Now, it's been modified to fit this British audience with these British singers and this British channel. And frankly, it was like 10 years later. I think this is from 1990 in the UK, compared to the one that we saw like 1979, I think, from ABC television. So, you know, this is not a new song. It's not an original song. They've tweaked it. But it's the differences between them that are kind of what are really epic, because there are many, many differences between them, even though it is the exact same song. This is the Sky logo, and I'm going to try not to talk, but again, it's really hard for me not to sing along with these damn jingles.
We've come together and we're making friends.
They talk about the Sky News Department. I think that's what we're seeing here. Family Ties, Alf, 21 Jump Street, Hulk Hogan, Turn to for cheer. We're the one that likes you here. We're the one with Britain's number one. We came into your home every day, except for the dog. And I think this is a guy wedged between two regular viewers who comes in, like, you know, he's on Sky and he comes into their channel, their room channel changer. Warmth in your heart with each special year and each brand new start. We're the one that takes you away. We're the one that makes your day. We're the one with Britain's number one. And she's got a one in her garter there. We're the one that sings your song. We're the one you want to take along. We're the one with Britain's number one. And again, those people you see on a set are usually people who work, and then there's people who are just running in the park, and then clips from the movies, like Dirty Dancing, I guess. Whatever other movies these are from. Turning the world within your view. No one can something like. Well, that was just lovely, wasn't it? Apparently, the thing crashed right in the middle of the goddamn jingle. So, if you missed the tail end of that, I can play. It just barely ended, so let's just play the the last sort of bit of it here. It's such a good promo, and I'm sorry. It needs to be sort of included in the discussion of the We're the One jingle. Every day, except for the dog.
And you made us feel welcome to stay. As the seasons changed, we found warmth in your heart.
With each special year and each brand new start, we're the one that takes you away. We're the one that makes you gay. I mean, your day. You're the one with Britain's number one. We're the one that sings your songs. We're the one you want to take along. We're the one with Britain's number one. So yeah, they show clips from movies that they play on Sky One. Clips of the news department hard at work, like this. Turning the world within your view. Control room. People running in the newsroom. The helicopter shot. The helicopter taking off. People running and scaring the birds. And then these are intercut. I think some of this is like feature film material. She's on the real news. This is promoting partly, but not only, Sky News.
We're the one that fits your style.
We're the one with Britain's number. Those are like the morning chat people. And that's like essentially with Brian Gumbel did Willard Scott's makeup for the purposes of a 2-second shot in a promo. Danny DeVito, sports, news, entertainment, it's all here on Sky One. Even Hulk Hogan. All right, so yeah, I'm a big dork, and as I said, that jingle needs to be included in any discussion of the We're the One, or Still the One, actually. I believe that was a version of Still the One, just changed to say We're the One. But I just really like that one. Sky's got a really interesting history, because the Sky sort of idents, or station IDs, network IDs, if you will, are, there's a whole sort of series of them. You can see the evolution. In fact, can I just do Sky One idents? Because there's a whole bunch of Sky channels now, just like HBO, Showtime, whatever. There's 8 or 9 different Skies. The ones that I like are the ones from 1990 on. Here we go. Okay, let's just go back to the black screen. I will just show you these. These are sort of an extension of my love for the jingles and sort of imaging of radio stations and TV stations. This is sort of what I'm trying to talk about when I say an ident, or a network ID. This is all from Sky One, and you will see, like I say, the evolution of the different versions of the logo, the different way in which they presented themselves. I really wish I'd been in England getting Sky One between 1990 and roughly, I guess, 96 or so, because that's when it was good. After a certain period, they get really corny and stupid, in my opinion, and I don't like them anymore, and you'll see where that is. Okay, that was Sky Channel, right? Not even Sky One yet, because there was just, the BBC, probably more than a couple of BBCs, I guess. I think there was maybe a couple of BBCs. And then there was like ITV, Channel 4, there was a very limited number of options on broadcast television. So this was the one that was different, right? Sky Channel. And that's all it was called. Well, then they saw that there was going to be more than one Sky, maybe one for news, maybe one for sports, kind of that kind of thing. And it got to even be more diverse than that. But it started with Sky Channel, which became, even with the same music and animation, I think, maybe not the same animation, Sky One. That's the one I like, with the neon letters. Dun, 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 dun.
From the Sky Satellite Network, this is Sky One.
That's actually my favorite right there. In fact, let's go back and watch it because of how much I like that one.
From the Sky satellite network, this is Sky One.
Awesome.
This is Sky One, part of the Sky Television Network. This is Sky One.
I like that one too. And I think that's where it stops, where I stop, like, because the rest of these are very kind of funky and nouveau and different. The music I hate. I'm not big on lava lamp imagery. But that was their whole, I guess, approach to imagery for that period of Sky One. And this is kind of people with their skates and their dog. Sky One. You're watching Sky One. And I hate these. I mean, I don't even know what that was from. And then these are even weirder, like a lady in a shop drinking a malt. Sky One. Okay, whatever. I think that was the 24 beep. And then that's kind of cool in a way, but I guess that's it. So yeah, you get an idea of what I'm talking about now. Sky Television had some of the greatest ones. In fact, one of the favorite and sort of retro things about it, let's see here, scramble announcements. At some point, Sky One was receivable on, as I said, satellite. I think that was the whole point of the channel, was that it was from the sky, and you use your satellite. But it was free. Anybody who had the satellite dish could just pull down the signal and watch it on TV. There was no scrambler yet. There was no way of making people pay until a certain point. I believe that point became 1993, because what we're going to watch next are the announcements, and you'll see the similarities from the ones that I just played, because they started in that era. And it's like, okay, guess what? Your channel that you've been watching for free, this channel here is now about to be scrambled, and here's what you need to do if you want to keep watching. You need to pay, and here's how, kind of a thing. Check these. I really think these are another kind of almost just tribute to TV programming of the past, or I don't even know what to say, but it's like so retro and cool.
This is Sky One, a part
Of the British Sky Broadcasting Network.
You're watching Sky One. From September the 1st, this channel will be scrambled as part of the Sky Multi-Channels package. If you're a movie subscriber, don't worry. You will continue to receive Sky One absolutely free.
And that's right. If you already paid for like their version of HBO, the Sky Movie Channel, which already costs some money, then you were going to still keep getting Sky One for free. But if you've been watching these channels for free, they're about to go away.
If you're not a movie subscriber and haven't taken up our special offer, call now on 0506 484848 and make sure you're part of a brand new Sky with Sky Multi-Channels. Here's a special announcement for Sky One viewers. From September the 1st, Sky One will be scrambled as part of the Sky Multi-Channels package. If you're not a movie subscriber, or if you've not replied to our special offer, you'll be unable to watch Sky One from the end of this month. Also to be scrambled from that date, UK Gold, Bravo, Discovery, the Children's Channel, the Family Channel, UK Living, Country Music Television, and Nickelodeon. It's not too late to order. Watch out for this special offer.
Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Your chance to subscribe to the Sky Multi-Channels package for just £3.99 per month through to the end of the year. Simply complete and return the enclosed contract and don't miss a brand new Sky with Sky Multi-Channels. This is an important announcement for Sky One viewers. A portion of the following program will be scrambled as a test for the September launch of Sky Multi-Channels. If your screen becomes scrambled like this, then you need to contact Sky. Call 0506 484848.
I like that one. If the channel goes like this, you need to call us right now.
Remember, if you haven't already subscribed to Sky Multi-Channels, all Sky One programs will be scrambled from September
Scrambling
the 1st.
will not affect cable.
The following program is being scrambled for test purposes only.
Is that it? I thought there was one more. Yeah. This is a great one, too.
Star Trek: The Next Generation.
It's so fine, it really blows my mind. A revelation, inspirational.
Cops.
This is not just number one, it's simply sensational.
And the funny thing is, Sky One. Like, they got the 90210 cast to say a Sky One thing. The Beach Show got to do it. The WWE folks, The Simpsons. I mean, this is essentially Fox in Britain. Except LA Law. They also had LA Law, which I think was mostly in reruns by then, even in America. But I think that's really crazy, too.
You're watching Sky One. September 1993. Welcome to a brand new Sky. Welcome to the launch of Sky Multi-Channels. Now, many new channels are available through your Astra satellite dish, and only Sky subscribers will be able to view all of the Sky Multi-Channels. If you're not yet a subscriber, you'll be seeing your Sky One programs scrambled like this. In order to assist our viewers, some programs will remain unscrambled during the next few days. Within the next week, however, all Sky One programs will be scrambled and you'll need a Sky viewing card. If you've received your Sky subscription agreement in the post, please fill it in and return it to Sky and we'll send you your viewing card immediately. Alternatively, you could collect a Sky viewing card from your local retailer or send us your name, address and phone number on a postcard to Sky, Livingston, EH54 7PR, and we'll send you your viewing card in the post. Don't miss out on the new age of multi-channel television through the Sky Satellite Network. From the Sky Satellite Network, this is Sky One.
And I mean, we all have such mixed feelings about Fox, right? Fox News and this and that. Well, I mean, the owner of Fox is Rupert Murdoch, and he's obviously kind of a conservative asshole. But the funny thing about it, and I feel like this is kind of a point nobody makes except for me and other friends of mine in the news business, which is that Fox, the television network, is known for not only being like, sort of a more risque option than, NBC, ABC. When you're talking about broadcast channels only, now this is already sort of an archaic discussion if you're not talking about cable or satellite or the internet, but to talk from a strictly broadcast antenna viewing standpoint, you're there at home with your TV on the antenna, getting what you can get. And you have let's say 5-6 channels max. One of them's in Spanish, one of them's in all sales, all QVC channel or whatever. Then to be able to have this expansion, I remember when I got cable, when our family got cable at my house, it was a big deal. Originally, it was channels 2 through 13 with no skips. Originally, we had channels 2 through 13, but only 4 of them worked. The NBC affiliate, the PBS, the ABC, and the NBC affiliate. Our independent station that would become the Fox affiliate in 1987 when Fox went on the air was one of those TV stations that did not come in very good, and so we didn't even really count it. Talking about antenna broadcasting, right? So when that station got a network affiliation and sort of a stronger translator station, channel 11, it still did not come in good on antenna, but if you switch to UHF band and turn to channel 23, you kind of could see 90% of the signal. And it was all right, and then when you saw the programming that you were being offered as compared to NBC, ABC, CBS, PBS, like for a kid, it was worth being able to see Married with Children. It was worth being able to see The Simpsons, Tracy Ullman. It was worth being able to see, Cops. It was worth being able to see, the Arsenio Hall show. I mean, that was, I think, on the station in those days. Although it wasn't a Fox show. I think that was actually on the independent station that would later become UPN, which would later become the CW. I mean, if you remember the sequence of kind of broadcasting events, then you know what I'm talking about. And if you're a child of cable and all you ever knew was satellite or cable television, you don't see the difference between an NBC and an MTV, when in fact they're very different animals for a number of different reasons. So when you're in Britain, I often wonder what it was like to be able to be presented with, look at all this American television, The Simpsons, 3 kinds of Star Trek, 3 different, the Star Trek original, Star Trek Next Generation, Star Trek Deep Space Nine. What else they show? Wrestling, LA Law. This is a very kind of American TV channel in a way. And it was, in fact, Fox UK, but they didn't call it that. They called it Sky Channel originally, and then there were Sky Movies. And then they went on to sort of realize that they could expand even further than that, as networks do. And what I started to say about Fox in this country was that, Temptation Island on the Fox network, Married with Children, not the most family friendly. These are not conservative shows you're talking about when you're talking about the shows that are on Fox Broadcasting. So, while Fox News is a conservative news channel, I'll leave you with this, and this is probably going to, make people angry that I don't hate Fox News for the right reasons, even though I do hate Fox News. Fox News is a joke, but it's not a joke. I mean, it's a joke because it's not really a news channel. That's not a secret. Nobody thinks Bill O'Reilly's a journalist. But they figured out that they can cater to an audience that likes to be kind of, mentally stimulated, if you will, and told the things they like to be told in the same way that they do on the Anchorman. Anchorman 2 is not a good movie. And I know a lot of people don't like Will Ferrell, but the one Will Ferrell movie I like, and there's only really one, is Anchorman, where he's the news anchorman. That's really an animal that's different. It's a cut above all the other Will Ferrell movies, and it's a shame for people who hate Will Ferrell and not have seen the news anchorman, because it's so fucking perfect. It's really good, and it's really funny in a very different way. Now, Anchorman 2 is not that good, but it makes a couple of very, very serious points about the news media, and it's really good for that reason. The points that it makes, rather than the comedy that it tries to do. Comedy is stupid. The comedy in Anchorman 2 is not good, and the story is not really good, but ultimately I was glad I saw it because there's this kind of overhanging, important social commentary, journalism commentary being done by Will Ferrell and the movie people. But it's apt and it's correct. And it is that they're catering to their viewers. The viewers that want to be mentally stimulated, whether or not something is actually news. The Fox people figured out, in the same way that they figured out they'll have entertainment that caters to teenagers trying to get away from the same old boring crap on broadcast television. Well, the news channel will cater to, the uncatered to, the conservatives, the ones who are rich and the ones who like being mentally stimulated and likes being sort of told the stuff that they already agree with and not being challenged, and sort of having the stories being told fairly. In other words, the fairness thing, meaning that conservatives always felt slighted by the liberal news media prior. And so now there's a news agency for conservatives. Well, it's an agency for conservatives, but it is not a news agency because they are, they are obviously neither fair nor balanced. But it's not because I think that the network or the Fox people are conservative. 20th Century Fox did Star Wars. Nobody puts Star Wars out there as a reason to hate Fox, but everybody puts Fox News Channel out there as a reason to hate Fox. Well, it's a company trying to make money above and beyond everything, a corporation trying to make money. So if you want to hate it on a corporate standpoint, fine, but to hate it because they're truly conservative, I don't think a conservative movie house would have made Star Wars. I don't think a conservative TV network would have released Married with Children. You get what I'm saying. Now, what they did was a business decision, and it happens to work for them because Fox News happens to be the most viewed of all the news network agencies, whatever. But I think we all know what that is. So again, I hate Fox News, just not for the same reasons most people do. And it's because I have this kind of meta awareness of the media or whatever that I don't seem to share with a lot of people. And, it's worth hating the cable news agencies, and it's worth hating the corporations, but sort of let's just be real about who we're talking about, I guess, and all that. Hey, I've blabbed for an hour. Tomorrow night's Game Show Tuesday. I will be excited about that. Last week went a little long, talking about game shows and stuff that I love. And, we'll do more of the news throughout the week. I'd like to get a little more serious. We got pretty serious with Robert Durst today, so that was good. Make it a great Tuesday. Hey, it's St. Patrick's Day. Make sure you wear something green if at all possible. Don't drink the green beer thing. That's so hacked. That's so fucking old, outdated. Just get over the whole drinking green beer thing. I mean, we're all Irish on St. Patrick's. Go say something nice to an actual person from Ireland, and stop pretending like whatever. This is cBas After Dark. We will see you Tuesday night on the St. Patrick's night. Good evening, everyone.